My name's Don.
And I'm Peter.
And we are two plebs talking about... California.
This week in the DPRC.
You better believe it. And,
yeah.
Dear California, before we even get into this, I'm gonna need you to ratchet down the crazy a little.
Or at least space it out some. Because you're making our job difficult in the fact of what are we going to talk about this week.
Right. Sitting there with
too much good
10
stuff.
Articles. I don't know, man. What do we do?
Yeah, it's looking like going into AM, PM. Too much good stuff.
Right? So, please, I mean, I don't want you to stop because we would lose the Thursday show. But I'm not worried about that.
No, just turn the faucet down a little bit.
Right.
Trickle it out.
I need you to spread the crazy over more period of time. All right? Are we good on this, California?
I mean, unless they think they can just keep up that drive of crazy all the time.
Well, if they're going to do that, this needs to become an hour-long show.
There's that. Which means, if you want this to become an hour-long show,
start mailing letters to Sacramento and say, do more crazy progressive shit. I'm sure they'll be like, yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah. And in that vein, and a few others, evidently.
Right. Oh, God, you had to go there. Of course you'd go there. Why am I even surprised?
San Francisco has created safe spaces for heroin injection.
Right.
Now, this goes right along. And if you think I'm kidding, I'm not exaggerating at all. This is, come down here, we have a nurse and a bed, so you can inject heroin, and then if anything goes wrong, we'll take care of you.
Right.
Oh, and we're not going to arrest you.
Yeah, the place that's quite fine with you wallowing in your own filth while you sleep wants you to have a nice, safe, clean space for injecting your drugs.
Exactly.
Because, believe me, people, when they put in the law saying it's okay to do your business on the sidewalk, where do you think a lot of the homeless people sleep?
Right. But,
so that's okay for them to sleep within their own wastes. But should they decide that they need to do drugs, we have to provide them with a nice, clean, safe space with medical personnel in case they fuck it up.
You got it. Anyway.
We don't want to spend money on cleaning, but we're more than happy to spend money to make sure that you can get fucking high.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it sounds like the guys in charge of San Francisco are fucking high.
Probably.
Fuck.
Anyway, so this only gets better because this right here is yet another round for me of like, well, so what you're saying to federal agencies is, well, just come camp out here, right?
Right. Yes, by the way, federal agents who want to bust people for doing this stuff, here's the door.
Right. Drug Enforcement Agency. Boy, do I have a lead on where you can go to get heroin users.
Right.
I mean...
But no, they're sanctuary city.
Well, so that only applies to immigration.
No, believe me, they'll umbrella that shit out real quick.
Maybe. Don't showbiz me. Anyway, so the genius of this is supposedly that this will keep people who do heroin, which, by the way, I thought we had all, in this pro-pot craze, agreed that heroin was bad.
Right.
Right? So, isn't this
which is why we legalized pot.
Right. Right, because pot wasn't that bad. Heroin is terrible. So, aren't these, like, the people that were agreeing, no, you should stop doing that, even with the pro-pot thing?
No, Tom, you don't realize it. This is just step 2.
Step
1 was pot. Step 2 is heroin.
Well,
we're going after crack next. It will all be legal eventually, including bath salts.
Awesome. Nothing like face eating in Florida to provide good reasons to legalize things.
Right?
Anyway, so, they really, in their own minds, by the way, are like, yeah, we're being compassionate for these heroin addicts. Like, well, I don't know if you know this, but you're pretty well incentivizing heroin.
Right.
Right.
You are removing all the disincentives to do it.
I mean, hey, I want to do heroin, but I don't want to get busted for doing heroin. Well, apparently, not only will I not get busted for it, but they'll give me a nurse if I go over there.
Right. They'll give me a nurse. They'll give me all the stuff I need to do my heroin. All I gotta do is show up with my product.
Right.
And I'm good to go. I got a nice safe space to nod off. I don't have to worry about getting rolled by the other homeless around me.
Right.
Because, believe me, they would while someone's on a nod.
Weird.
Wow.
Yeah, this is, I don't know. Every time that I think, California, you can't get any dumber, California's like, here, hold my beer.
You know? Of course I can.
Oh.
We're that progressive.
Right?
We want to be so inclusive.
Right.
You know, that we're gonna let you know the people least qualified and able make all the rules.
Exactly. And look,
because they have to have a job too.
Oh, sure. That sounds good. I guess. I mean, that pie in the sky is delicious. That's all I can.
Apparently.
Oh man. So, I have to wonder exactly when this was determined to be a good idea, right? So, like, we know that this got publicized, like, last Friday.
Right.
So, you know, okay, fine. But, man, would I have loved to have been a fly on the wall in this meeting.
Are you fucking stupid?
Well, come on. This is San Francisco. That did not happen.
Of course not.
Like, think about
it. Obviously, there was no opposing voice in that meeting.
Well, maybe there was. But it's San Francisco, so probably not.
Right.
But think about this for a minute. These guys got together in a room, presumably more than one, because, you know, I imagine this was the city council, based on who's enacting what.
Right.
And they all sat down and went, you know, we have this problem where people are doing heroin, and
they're just dying in the middle of the street.
No one's taking care of them. Have we considered that we should, like, provide free medical services to people who do heroin? No? Ah. Well.
Let's do that.
Anyone see a downside to this? No? Cool.
Get her done.
I mean, seriously. It's... Which, by the way, if by some miracle you are a heroin addict who has seen this show, you know where you need to go. San Francisco.
Yeah, go to San Francisco. It's the place to be.
Just make sure you bring your cell phone so you know where people have crapped so you know not to sleep there.
Right. Use the Poo app to figure out the best sleeping spots.
Right? And, oh man.
But now at least, you know, the homeless people who are doing heroin don't have to worry about dropping their needle in all the hepatitis infested ground because of all the poo.
That's true.
And you know, therefore they can just, you know, have their heroin and get their high, have the nurse in case they OD, but don't run the risk of catching hepatitis because of it now.
That's very important.
Because we're worried about their health.
Well, yeah.
We're doing this. We're doing this to keep them healthy and safe.
Yeah, that's which is why they're doing heroin, by the way.
Right.
I mean, I'm just, you know, when I'm standing there in Whole Foods, which never happens, but hypothetically staring at all the organic vegetables, you know, there's like tomatoes and onions and I don't know. Kale, I guess.
Lots of kale.
Right, and then more kale. And then just to the right of that is black tar heroin.
That's right.
I mean, come on. I don't know, man. I want to say you can't get more absurd than this, but I know what will happen.
You just told them to hold your beer.
Right?
Hold my beer. We'll show you how fucking stupid we can get.
What? You know, come to think of it, I can think of a way. They're going to start providing the heroin for free.
Right. You want to know why a lot of people OD on the heroin?
Right.
Because they don't know how pure it is.
Right. Well, so you don't know how pure it is. You don't know whether or not it's a hot dose. So to ensure that heroin addicts have good quality heroin, but not too pure, and to ensure that no one puts...
the nurses will hand out metered dosages.
Right. That's what it'll be. And, you know, they'll bring you in and they'll start testing your tolerance and then they'll just give you free heroin. I say this mockingly, but, like, I'm thinking by 2020.
That's how much more stupid this can get. We just gave them the roadmap.
Right. Oh, God. No one in San Francisco who is intensely political and for this kind of thing watches this show. Just zero.
Well, I doubt it. And if they do, if we're somehow wrong about something, by all means, say so in the comments.
Right.
But make sure you include how we're wrong.
That's not going to happen.
Of course it's not going to happen.
And in the vein of...
We'll just continue getting the occasional, you guys are fucking idiots comments.
Yeah, those are great.
It's like, well, way to stand up there, buddy.
Right. I mean, hey, do your thing. But, regardless, in case anyone thinks that it's just San Francisco that's full retard around here, we have Berkeley.
Okay. We've spoken about Berkeley a number of times on this show. We already know they're just as retarded.
That's true. And they are they're flexing that retard muscle for us today.
They are? How are they doing it today?
Well, I think it was day before yesterday, but regardless, I'm sure they're still just mid-flex there.
Okay.
So they have decided that Berkeley will be a sanctuary city for pot. Because, of course, you can't come up with a policy as dumb as sanctuary anything without then extending it to other things.
Of course. If it worked once, it will work again for what I want it to work for.
Well, so look at, the lefty methods of policy decision, right? So the courts had this problem a lot during the Warren Court era.
Yeah.
The progressives of the 20s and 30s, they did the same thing. Like, oh, we got this one thing through, so let's just do everything.
Right.
Right? Under the same guise. Well, this is exactly what it sounds like. The city of Berkeley and, anywhere that they have control over will not comply with federal authorities for people who smoke pot. So,
yep.
And they will, if...
We will not dedicate any funding to combat this, and we have expressed orders for all of our representatives to not assist or cooperate with federal agents in enforcing this law.
You got it. And so, there's lots of the, what is it? Show me a warrant and all this sort of thing. And now Berkeley's saying that effectively they will step in on behalf of pot shops over this.
Right.
Now, look, as a guy who would rather see local control anyway, okay, fine, you still don't get to do this.
No.
And by the way, as I am wont to do when we're establishing precedent like this, because that's what we're doing, either this is legal and acceptable, or it isn't.
It's not.
Well, hold your horses. Berkeley can have its pot, and Texas can have its automatic weapons.
Wait, what now? What?
Well, I mean, clearly Texas or Wyoming or Alaska or Tennessee or any of these other really pro-gun states
right,
can create a sanctuary state for the NFA. It's just a federal law being applied to their citizens. Therefore, Wyoming will not comply with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Right, just like Berkeley's not going to comply with the DEA, just like California's not going to comply with the ICE, right?
So you're saying rocket launchers for everybody?
That's all I'm saying.
Oh, get some mod use action going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because hey, look, if you're a company, we permit you to sell this. If you're a firearms dealer illegally, otherwise, right? Well, come on down. We'll let you stay. And, maybe you shouldn't set up a permanent shop because then the feds will know where to raid. So just sell the shit out of the back of a van. It'll be fine.
Right. Nothing can go wrong there.
No, not at all.
See what you're doing, Berkeley?
I'm sure they don't.
Of course they don't. They're just like, no, we don't like what Dad's saying, so fuck you. We're going to do what we want.
Right. And by the way, I'm sure when one of these really pro-gun red states goes, wait a minute, that's legal? Well, how about we just do it over here? I am positive that both California and Berkeley will come running to their defense. Right?
No, they won't.
Oh.
But California and Berkeley will have to. They won't want to. They will have to.
Oh, no, they won't.
Why not?
Well, so...
Because the moment it gets shot down on guns, there's now legal precedent to shoot it down over there.
Well, so...
They have to defend it.
You say that. But they will do something like say it's for the people or some other stupid crap. However, you get away from that when you move to pot as opposed to ice, right? And so all of what they'll bank on is, well, we like pot and we don't like guns.
Right.
And so they won't go defend the other states who go, well, if we can do this and just effectively decide we're not part of the union, then fuck it. We don't like all this shit that the feds are doing.
Right.
And by the way, dear Wyoming, who, while many may have forgotten, got a bill through their Senate up to their governor's desk, as I recall, that said if federal agents come to Wyoming to enforce a gun grab, citizens of Wyoming were permitted to kill them on sight.
Yes, I remember that. I remember that. I'm like, oh, come on, guys.
Right? Now, this is much less over the top than that. So just, hey, we're not gonna enforce these laws, and we're not gonna let you as best we can. Right?
Right.
This is right up their alley. Wyoming, come on, help me out here.
Get her done. Oh.
I mean, it must be okay, right? Because it's okay over here.
If it's okay over here, it has to be okay over here.
Right.
We can't have a double standard now. That's discrimination.
Right. And so, clearly, Berkeley will probably face some sort of legal challenge over this as time goes on.
Right.
Right? The DEA is almost guaranteed to sue them over this at some point.
Oh, yeah. Because what'll happen is some guys will come in, try and do their job, and they're like, no, we can't help you. Okay, how about we just arrest you for obstruction of justice then?
Right.
Because they can. Fuck chops.
Well, so you say that, but then the city of Berkeley will go and defend them and say that, this is, they should be legally permitted to have this policy by whatever means, and they were just following local law. I mean, they'll completely ignore the supremacy clause of the Constitution or the fact that the Civil War happened, but that's what they'll do.
Of course.
So...
But guess what? It's Berkeley, and this will be a new Civil War type incident.
Yeah.
But it's California who's anti-gun, so they won't be able to defend themselves.
Yeah, it's going to be a short Civil War.
It'll be a Civil War that lasts all of 10 minutes. Clack, clack. You sure you want to do this? I gives up.
Oh, no, come on. California will actually go out there and protest in the streets and all this other kind of crap. But the best part of that, and I almost wish I was going to be here for it, is that like 90% of California gun owners, if the feds rolled in here and were like, oh, we're actually having a civil war, like 90% of California gun owners are going to be like, hey, we have lots of 5.56 ammo. Just if you could, please.
Because California made it so that we can't use it properly, so why don't we just donate it to you? Go kick their ass.
Right. Just we need you to get all of them out of here so that we can actually make laws that aren't retarded.
Right.
So
yeah, don't look at the California gun owners to help you fuckers out.
No, not at all. When
you've been fucking them for years.
Right.
This will be like, oh, you're here to spank them. There's my chair, my popcorn. Get to
it. We've got 360-degree HD of you killing the commies, so come on.
Get her done.
Right. So,
you guys need a toilet right here.
Right. This is what would happen here. And look, the simple reality is that there's no way California can fight the feds. But even if they could, you would have to actually fight the feds.
Right.
So, and look, let's fight this out in court. Let's say that these sanctuary laws are legal or constitutional because states' rights, which up until, November 6th of 2016 just meant racism. But yeah, states' rights, let's do it.
Yeah. And
then I get my NFA-free zone.
Right.
Because I guarantee you that there's a governor somewhere who's going to be like, okay.
Because they still argue that states' rights issues was just racism.
Well, so they're doing it a lot less now, right? Because all of a sudden they're standing on the point of states' rights. Mm-hmm. So, and this is how they're doing these sanctuary laws. Is that, ICE doesn't have the authority to do that in our state, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, they do.
And so, and our local businesses and municipalities and all that need to tell ICE to go pound sand and all this other kind of shit.
Yeah, in California, that's a legal requirement now.
Yeah.
Which is fucking bullshit.
And so, if this is legal and constitutional, so is my NFA-free zone.
Yeah. You're right.
It can be a black rifle sanctuary state, a seer
I
sanctuary
just think
state.
it's further proof that California is going to try to succeed from the Union.
Oh, yeah. Oh, certainly. Which, just a little more time, California. A little more time.
I don't know. This new California thing seems to be working out, though.
You're probably not. But regardless, though, the awesomeness that it is going to come down when Berkeley tries to fight the DEA, because that's what they're saying. Uh-huh. Oh, by the way, and California's guaranteeably going to help fund this.
Of course.
I, again, hope for the precedent. Because just do it. Just let's play this mental gymnastic game and make it case law.
Yeah.
Because once you do, I'm getting a 240.
Yeah, pretty much.
In fact, in all reality, I'm getting a 50, I'm getting a Mark 19, I'm getting a tank. Fuck it.
You're getting whatever you can afford.
Right?
Beg, borrow, or steal, whatever you can afford.
You got it.
I want an Abrams.
It's going to happen.
And or roll that bitch through McDonald's.
Right? But they will have done all the work for me.
Just like they do in Russia.
Exactly. Well, that was like Alabama. So, anyway. But
I thought they did in Russia, too.
Yeah, probably.
Just saying.
But, anyhow, this is... Good job, Berkeley. I mean, your progressive retardation has gone so far, you might accidentally do something good for me.
Right. I just worry about this state so much.
And that's the end of our show for the day.
That's right. It's taco time.
However, before we go, we'd appreciate it if you shared us around.
You can find us on YouTube,
BitChute,
Facebook,
Twitter,
Patreon,
and Maker Support.
Thanks for stopping by.